You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
This makes my nipples hard.
Hey there, Paul and I are here to talk about not a Sierra game today. I know, hang on, don't leave. We're also not going to talk about a LucasArts game. I know, a few more people, but wait, hang out with us because we're going to talk about one of the better rated classic adventure games out there, I think, called Circle of Blood.
Wait, I thought we were doing Knights of the Shadows of the Templar or whatever.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, we were going to do a Broken Sword Shadow of the Templar, but the Android app version, right?
No, I played the DS version.
Damn it. All right. Well, I guess we'll have a lot to talk about then, won't we? But for real, there is a lot of versions of this game.
Did I give it away? Because everyone knows I don't have a DS.
I believed you, so...
Ah, nice. All right.
Yeah,
okay, I sold that shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 1,000%. But I'm going to save all of you what I should be doing to you right now, which is reading all of the releases of this game from PlayStations to Game Boy Advance to Palm OS. Remember Palm systems?
Palm
yeah,
Pilots,
that was 2005 was a wild freaking year, I tell you what. Then there's mobile versions, Android versions. My version, Reforged, was released last year, and I got it to play it for free because it was on my my app membership. Like with Google Play, what's it called? You pay $5 a month, at least in Canada we do, and you get access to a bunch of apps for free. And it was kind of on the list. And all of this for me stemmed because I was having a chat with a friend of the podcast, Eric, who also lives locally here in Victoria. And we were talking about the different versions, and I didn't realize they were all available on an app, like all of them. I guess there's 5?
Right. Yeah, there is. Yeah, they're on iOS as well. At least like the director's cuts and then the Reforged, and yeah, we'll do versions at some point. I'm still stuck on the Palm Pilot thing, man. My dad had one of those in the '90s. That really takes me back. Palm Pilots. I think that was also my nickname in middle school. But
yeah, my first lawyer that I ever had a Palm Pilot, and I think I was about 18 years old, and I was all like, "This is the future!" Like. It had a pen and a flap, like in the front, to open and close over the top. He was taking notes on it and looking all serious and official as he used the tiny pen. And I was like, wow, that's actually pretty close to what I do on my S24 Ultra, because it has a pen too. Looks about the same.
Yeah, you've always been weird about you and your pens. All right, look, listen. This is Broken Sword, and I tried to be difficult and to play the Circle of Blood version. Just because it's the American version, fuck yeah. And, I wanted to play that one. Just, I don't know, I guess I don't really have a good reason other than being minorly difficult about it. And anyway, in ScumVM, there's a bit of an issue with it where the audio doesn't line up. It starts reading, at least the version of Circle of Blood that I had, which was from a CD-ROM of mine. So anyway, Circle of Blood was the United States rebranding of the same game, Broken Sword, something of the Templars.
Right.
Is that professional? Do we sound like we know what we're doing?
Always. So I have, here, this is the Circle of Blood big box. It has a CD jewel case in it and a really long list that I made Paul suffer through of games that came out this year from Virgin Interactive. If you want the list, send an email and I'll give you a voice recording of all of them. It's all yours. Patreon. Okay.
Please do that. I want you guys to make her do that. Because right now she's like, I'm not going to have to do this.
No, it's a lot. But that is what I knew it as a kid. I always knew it as Circle of Blood because this is my original version that I have here. So.
Okay, so the facts behind that though, so everyone knows. So this game was published by Virgin Interactive.
Yes.
And Virgin were the ones that wanted it rebranded. They were afraid that like the Templar thing will be lost on Americans. And according to Charles Cecil, who's the brains behind the Broken Sword IP in general, said that Virgin wanted it to sound more bloody. So they went with Circle of Blood, and there was no... It was just the marketing department. There's nothing behind this. There's nothing in the game. There's no circles. There's no bloody circles. I'm not even sure that there's blood. But there's that. Same game, though. Unlike the director's cut, which I did play, in addition to the original, with an asterisk mark. We'll get to that later. I think we should. Okay, here's the plan. We're gonna start you off with some fun facts about development and some background stuff. I'll give you a little synopsis of the story as well. Then we're gonna walk you through the game, in the sense that we try to do whenever we review a game, which is with the idea being we're playing it for you, but verbally or whatever, experiencing it for you and telling you all about it. And then at the very end, we'll go over some of the differences between the director's cut and the original and the reforged version and all the prior. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Well,
okay,
hear,
thank
hear.
you. Mm-hmm. You got any of those fun facts for us, or?
Well, this game was localized a lot because at the time Virgin was very serious about getting their games international. And so, fun fact, Nico in the German version was voiced by Franziska Pigula, the German voice of Scully from The X-Files.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's kind of fun.
It's a little pocket size, yeah.
You got one?
You would think so. I mean...
You're the one that was like, let's do fun facts. I'm like, I might try to gather a few. You know, there's actually quite a few interviews with Cecil going back. I got lost in the land of watching interviews and writing fun facts because there's just so much for him to say. He's quite a creative person. And the team of this game, it's a very creative team. It's pretty wild. Did you know, though, that this game actually predates the Da Vinci Code by several years? I don't know if you've ever read the book. I've read the book. I don't even know if there's a movie, but I've read the book. But there's definitely a lot of similarities between them. It's pretty cool.
I'm not familiar with Dan Brown's work, no.
No.
No, I didn't. But it is interesting in the sense that this was the first game in this time period to draw into, like, religious lore, I guess you could say, and because that became kind of a thing, especially in the adventure game genre as we went on, especially with Gabriel Knight 3, which is much more on the nose with the Dan Brown Da Vinci Code thing than this game is. But yeah, all right. I guess this is a fun fact. It doesn't feel very fun, but it's I don't know. I'm gonna say it. So Rolf Saxon is the voice actor for George. He got his job because Hazel Elderby, Nico's voice actress, suggested him. So that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's fine. I don't, okay. I'm going to say more stuff at you guys. Maybe something will be fun. So the idea began over a bottle of, quote, very fine wine between Charles Cecil and Sean Brennan of Virgin. Cecil wanted to do like an Egyptian-style adventure, but Brennan told him that Egyptian games wouldn't sell. So the conversation eventually pivoted to like the Knights Templar, and then that became the seed of Broken Sword.
Well, Cecil was always super involved in everything he did. There was even some continuity issues that bothered the hell out of him for forever. And he mentioned it a few times, like how the Templars reached the church under the Bannockburn before George and Nico. Like he thought there was just these little plot holes and things like
the burn mark in the cafe.
Yeah.
Did you see that one? In the original version, a bomb goes off in a cafe and there's a burn mark from where the bomb went, and it's not lined up to where it actually should have been, and that really bothered him. And so in the reforged version, you can find that addressed.
It was interesting because I was taking screenshots along the way, and the reforged version is very pretty, but there's just little screens and little changes and little things that are different. But I played the original version so long ago, I don't even really know what the differences are.
Right. Yeah, and they're quite minor. When they're not major, they're minor. In other words, when it's not the entire art being redone or remastered, then it's really quite small things as opposed to some of the more, I don't know, grittier, nitpickier Sierra differences that you might find, for example, and there are different versions. This is more, we fixed a thing here or there, a little inconsistency here or there, added a hint system, and made the art look good.
Right. I didn't even know there was a hint system, nor did I use it. Although, okay, you know what? The Reforged, which is, I played it, instead of on a tablet, I played it on my phone. So granted, there was a little bit of pixel hunting, especially when you're just trying to steal somebody's pen or something tiny like that. But the system, guys, was phenomenal. You run your finger over the screen, and you'd get a hot spot. It would show you a little circle if you could do something with it, or if you could leave a room. So you just kind of like run your finger across the screen everywhere, and you could figure everything out. It was super intuitive. And this leads me to my question for you, Paul, and this is a very important question. Do you click the icons for talking from left to right or right to left?
Oh, from left to right. I'm not an animal. I don't understand
Right. I do them all right to left.
Okay. All right. Well, that's very...
I just realized that maybe not everybody would, and right to left. And first I do the talking things, and then I do the questions about inventory after.
Well, you are also quite Jewy. That's a Hebrew thing, going right to left.
Yeah.
Maybe that's, ancestral callings or something.
Yeah.
I will say...
Maybe I read a lot of mangas.
When I hope... Never mind. What was I going to say? The director's cut, I played after... So, okay, Anna played the Reforged version, which really just came out recently, within the last year or so, year and a half or so. Reforged is a remastering of the original Broken Sword game, which I played. Because I was like, I do pixel art. I really like pixels, obviously, right? So I want to see it pixely, even if it's that weird...
Now, hang on. Is this your first playthrough of the game?
Yeah. Is it not yours?
Yeah, no, that's why I said I have my big box. I played it originally all the way through with my dad, on and off, when I was a teenager.
Adorable. That was inauthentic of me. I knew that you played it with your dad because he remembered the goat puzzle, which is
I forgot
adorable.
that you knew, and I was honestly just telling you straight up.
My acting
I was
is
just
on
like,
point
wow,
today.
no, you're doing great. Yeah, until you give yourself away.
Right, well.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel right sitting in the lie,
No, I get it. I like to be honest with everybody as well.
What was it? Where? Oh, yeah, the director's cut version. Just having this moment right now of like, what are we confusing the audience by just going in and out of all these different versions? It feels a bit chaotic right now.
It is a lot. There is a storyline. I just do want to indicate though that there is a difference between all of the versions that you and I initially played and the director's cut, because it added an extra scene at the beginning and put in playability of a second character.
Okay, let's do this. Let's just cleanly describe the three main versions. So there's the original Broken Sword. This is the version that I played for this episode. Then there is the director's cut version, which was put out in 2009. You can find it on iOS and Google Play. As well as on the major stores and such. The director's cut is actually rather contrived in the sense that it is not a true director's cut. It's not like Charles Cecil had a larger vision for the first game and had to trim stuff out of it, right? That's usually what a director's cut is. And that's what this game comes across as, because in this game, you don't start at the cafe with the clown and the explosion. It's kind of an iconic scene. Even if you haven't played the game, that might be familiar to you. It doesn't start there with George. It starts 2 chapters prior as Nico. And I can get a little bit more into that way at the end of the episode here, like the more nitty-gritty is the actual differences. But the point being is that you start out as Nico and you play 2 chapters as her. Then you end up at the cafe with the explosion, so the start of the original game. And then I think at 2 other points in the game, you end up as Nico again and seeing through her little story plot that was started earlier in the game. So that's the director's cut. Then the Reforged version is what Anna played for the purposes of this episode, and that has nothing to do with the director's cut. It's basically a remastering of the original game.
It's very pretty, at least on a tiny screen too. I've been sending Paul screenshots all the way through, and then I gave him a library of all my pretty screenshots.
Yes, yeah, thank you for that. It's quite extensive. Now it makes sense now that you said you played it on your phone, because you're just like pressing 2 buttons and grabbing these screenshots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, there's the 3 versions. Essentially, the original and the Reforged are the same for all intents and purposes, same story, etc. That's what Anna and I played one of each. There's not going to be anything to really talk about as we go along with differences between the 2, because they were just visual, essentially, especially if Anna didn't use the hint system. And then at the very end of the episode, I'll take us on a little detour and explain what I thought of the director's cut version. Okay, great, fantastic. So we did that. So let's give them a quick summary, and then Anna, I'll hand over you to start us at the opening, at the explosion. And a quick summary of the game for anybody who has no idea what Broken Sword is whatsoever. It's about an American tourist named Jose. Yep, his name is George Stobart. He survives a deadly cafe bombing in Paris. Basically, he's just chilling in Paris. He's having a good time. I think he's on vacation. I'm not sure that that's really said, but he's just in Paris. Look, get off of his back.
He's supposed to
right?
just
He's
be
in Paris.
on vacation.
He's allowed to just be in Paris, guys. I don't know why everyone's. And while he's in Paris at a cafe flirting with this waitress, you get the indication he's been slowly working this case on this waitress. But anyway, an obnoxious clown comes up to him. He pops the clown's balloon. A little bit rude, in my opinion, but it's fine. The clown goes into the cafe, puts an accordion down, walks out, and there's a huge explosion and a dead body. Or maybe that's plural. I don't know. So anyway, George teams up with a French photojournalist, Nico Carlot, and together they uncover a worldwide conspiracy involving the Knights Templar.
Which
That's
is
Broken
like
Sword.
such an American thing to do. Like, oh, here's a random thing that happened and I'm here. I'll just completely jump in and take over and do it now.
Following a great American tradition of involving ourselves in things that don't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. That was, it was funny though. George is kind of rude a little bit, a few times throughout the game. I mean, outside of being a minor thief, he is kind of Guybrush Threepwood like in some ways.
I like him. He's not a.
Yeah, I like him too. He's so real. He's good.
Right. He doesn't get pushed around, but I don't know. He's good. Okay, let's start outside of the cafe, the Paris opening.
Right. Yeah, and right away this game had a really good flow because there's story progressions. Cafe's okay. Cafe gets bombed. Police are there. Cafe boarded up. Last police officer there. Last police officer gone. Like, this game did it really good. Like, moving things along and making it feel like the world around you is alive and not stagnant.
Right. Yeah, it does. The storytelling is, this is like a masterclass in storytelling, this entire game. I could just say off the bat, because I'm sure at certain points I'll introduce little critiques that I have or whatever, such as any review, but I really, really like this game. Like, I fucking loved this game. I had so much fun with it. So much fun with it that when it was over, I was like, actually, I could do more. I'm going to play the chapters in the director's cut, the new chapters, and see what that's about. And then because I happened to not be feeling super great and was kind of like stuck looking for stuff to do anyway, I actually started playing Broken Sword 2. Such is the degree that I had a great time with this game. So yeah, it's a masterclass in storytelling. It's a very slow, cinematic, let the story unfold, explore your territory. It's just peak adventure game in a sense. So
isn't it satisfying too? Like, as things happen, Nico, the partner that Paul mentioned, you get to go and check in with her, and she's kind of like your lifeline in the game. To me, she was, I think, and perhaps originally was intended as to be the hint system. Like, do you have anything new? Yes or no? This is a place I'm going to go next. This is a thing I'm going to do next. Like, here, I found a thing. Check it out. It's very exciting. They had the fun, flirty vibe going back and forth through all of it. You even, at one point, they introduced an alternative love interest to bring in the intrigue and everything. It was, gosh, such a cartoon, like playing a cartoon. And they had so many different aspects of puzzles. But at the very beginning, you get to just kind of walk around, talk to characters, and the puzzles themselves, like here, you're in the Paris investigation. They're all quite self-contained. Like, you don't have to often go somewhere far away to figure something out. Whatever it is that you need is mostly right there or within a few screens of where you are. You might have to go back and forth a few times, and maybe there's some timed events, but I think that was really, really well played out, actually.
Yeah, you bring up a good point about the containment. There's kind of a flow to the game where it takes a little bit of time to walk to a new scene. There's only 2 speeds, and the fast speed it's fucking slow. But that's okay. I like a lot of snacks when I play adventure games. So I like clicking on a thing, and then my little ADD brain's like, ooh, what can we do to fill this time, So I'm not. That's not a complaint on my end. But that being said, it's like it does feel like a bit of an effort to get to a new screen. But once you're there, as Anna said, it's like you kind of, the game teaches you very quickly you can unpack there and just relax a little bit. Like, you're going to be in this screen for a while. Pretty much everything you need is contained within the screen, or you have it already on you. So all good points. And then to your point about Nico, that's also true. She does a great job of forwarding the plot along. So George gets in this habit of checking in on her, sometimes, oftentimes automatically after something happens. Something,
Yeah, you'll just all of a sudden be there, which is convenient because otherwise you have to catch a flight all the way back, make your way out of a catacomb, yada, yada, yada.
Right. And it makes sense because they're clearly teammates at this point, let's say. So whenever something of significance happens, that's when you end up back at the house, at Nico's apartment. And it makes sense. Like, you would go to her and be like, here's a breaking new development in the case we're working on. So it's good. And even the way the game gets started is really natural, because this cafe explodes and it almost kills George. He comes to under rubble, let's say, and he had a brush with an encounter with the killer, the clown. So it obviously feels personal to him, and it almost killed him. So it's like, I would assume, I'd want to know who did this. Like, I saw the clown walk off. I saw the guy who did it. It almost killed me. So in other words, there's justification for him to be personally staked in what just happened. And then after the explosion, Nico shows up as a photojournalist taking pictures, and she's, they both have a reason to be involving themselves in this case. So I like it. It feels natural.
Yeah, it's great fun. And everybody you're talking to is slightly sketchy, right? So all the police and the investigation, and people are withholding investigation, and there's all these little like, what's up with that moment? And then right in the general vicinity, there's this guy who's working on a hole who I absolutely think he's adorable. One of his quotes, save the dolphins, catch them and eat them, say. All that fuss over a bunch of fish.
Right, yeah, I like him.
He's adorable. And then, but later on in the game, you end up, he buys his own hole with the winnings from a racehorse, and was like, well, you know what, if I'm going to be here and I'm going to have this hole, I'm going to own this hole so I can work on it whenever I want, which is this game has a lot of that kind of humor.
It does. There's a lot of little payoffs, too, like that, which is nice, because essentially this guy's digging in a hole, and you need him to fuck off so that you can not only steal his tools, but use his phone. Yeah. And to get him away, you use a newspaper clipping that it makes him aware of a horse race, and he runs off to bet on the horse. You get access to his hole. And
and he's like, thank you. And he's so sweet. Like, I bought my hole so I can come and go as I please. And then he's like, okay, now fuck off.
Yeah.
Right away.
And then there's just a lot of hole jokes that you can insert there for yourself. I didn't mean to say insert, but that's funny. Okay, let's do this. Let's do a quick little recap. So we're at a cafe, an explosion goes off, set off by a shady clown, classic. It kills this guy, who we come to eventually learn his name is Plantard.
Plantard.
Yeah, Plantard, thank you. And we also later on learned that he was supposed to meet Nico there. After the explosion, we kind of do some like investigating, look around the cafe itself, the surrounding area. That's right. That's where we meet this guy with we meet the hole guy, as Anna was talking about, the guy in the hole. The police try to arrest us. There's a kind of a funny line there where he's like, I'm innocent, I'm American. And the cop's like, can't make up your mind, eh? That was cute. So we're walking around, we're learning things about, the investigation, we're picking up inventory, and that brings me to the next note of interest here. We go down in the sewer and we start finding like the clown shedding his disguise. So we pick up a clown nose, and then we pick up a gross tissue. And I want to talk about this with you, Anna, because this is fun. The game does this thing where like every so often in the game you get a gross, weird inventory item. And the game lets you make that a point of conversation with everybody. Every
single character in the game. And by golly, you can just imagine that I did click the gross tissue on every single character in the game.
Exactly. No, it's so fun. Okay, another really interesting thing, because that might not even make sense unless we talk about the dialogue system, because it's really quite unique in that a lot of times what you're carrying is the dialogue topic. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's not exclusive to that, because they'll give you little pictures of different things that you can talk about, but oftentimes like the point of discussion will just be the things that you have on you, and they kind of get you started in the conversation. And anyway, that's how you end up commonly. Yeah.
You get like a clown buzzer. Oh, and you know what is the most satisfying thing in the world? When they actually let you do end up shaking somebody's hand or shocking them. Or one of the security guards later in the game, you go to give him the dirty rag Kleenex with the clown paint on it, and he's like, oh, yes, that, exactly. I'll let you in the room you want to get in right now. You're like, really? He's like, no, like, gross.
Yeah, that's the humor in this game is handled in a really, like, I don't know, really consistent and clever and background sort of way, right? It's not like a comedy, but there's just so many times where it's really quite funny and just enjoyable, and Less like laughing sporadically, more just smiling through the entire thing.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so we're essentially gonna go to the apartment and talk to Nico for the first time.
About the hand buzzer and the clown's red nose.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Before we get to Nico's apartment, is there any notes that you have in your personal notes that you didn't get to say?
No. My personal notes have already all been read.
Okay, I've got a few. So, first note, I don't know, popping the clown's balloon didn't seem called for.
Right. He looked as if I'd farted at a funeral. That was one of my notes.
Nice. Yeah. No, what am I writing here? Oh, nobody else saw that? Like the giant explosion? Because it is a little weird. The explosion goes off and there's zero external reaction to it.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
This is Paris. They're just like, whatever, that's somebody else's problem. Like, I'm having my cappuccino.
Yeah, it sounds more like 2026 Paris. Am I right? Yeah. Again, I'm not going to yell the political thing. That would be 3 episodes in a row. But the third note I have is oddly alluring, kind of sexy directional cursors. Right, yes. Yeah, they are kind of sexy directional cursors, right? They give this come hither thing.
They do. They're like, come here.
Yeah, this way, like, maybe.
And there's a lot of thumbs up or thumbs down. Like, and if you're not paying attention to the dialogue and all of a sudden you're presented with a choice and you're like, oh.
Yeah, right. Even even to pick it up is very, to pick up an item, it's very, I don't know, delicately lifting a sheet off of something, sort of hand motion.
Yeah. You can, in the app, you double tap to leave an area or to talk to a person, but you have to talk on an eyeball to look. And if you want to skip text, you just have to double tap the screen.
Yeah, I've got more notes. Premature extrapolation was a joke they made. George has Steve Dorian vibes.
Yeah.
He really kind of does, like oddly deep voice. Pixels give it a human touch. I think that I was sitting there having a moment like, why do I like the pixely version better? I'm like, because it reminds, like, I can see where the human's pencil was at every moment, like where they.
Mine was like a cartoon, like a Saturday morning freaking cartoon. You see the picture of the rainbow from the end of the game? That's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
The game is freaking beautiful, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep moving. So we go to Nico's. We're talking to her about all the craziness going on. And it's starting to look like that maybe the bad guy that we need to go find is somebody named Khan. So that's what sets us off to the Hotel Ubu.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Right. And, I said,
do you remember those?
I do, yeah. I should have said rough instead of right, but it's fine. You go to the Ubu and you meet Flap. You meet Flap and Guido. You do all kinds of stuff.
Flap's like this skinny, like Weasley gangster, I think, and then the Guido is this bigger, kind of like intimidating, like, you know, the muscle of the operation, like, okay, boss. And then they both kind of work together, and it's kind of neat because they set you up, because they kind of like have this awkward conversation with you as you're going in, and then if you go back out again, no matter what you do, they kind of pat you down. So they're like, oh, so like you don't know why, you don't know what they're looking for if you've just gone in and left, but they're patting you down. You're like, oh man, I bet if I find whatever the thing is, something might go down and I might lose the thing.
Yeah, right, exactly. It eventually makes sense. You're like, I know that I'll have to be careful leaving. It caused me to save a lot. I'm like, I don't want, every time I left, I'm like, do we not have the. So you get to the hotel, which, quick weird note, is that the U.S. flag is in the middle of all the flags, and I thought that was strange. Like, you would think it would have been the French flag in the middle, or even the UK flag, because that's who developed the game. But it's the U.S. one, and this isn't the Circle of Blood version.
That never bothered Mr. Cecil.
I found that really weird.
Yeah.
But okay, right. So now we're dealing with Lady P. That's unfortunately all I wrote. So that's the extent of her name, as far as we'll all know it, unless you played this before.
Well, she's playing the piano, and she's great too, because you kind of talk with her, and you guys have a nice little back and forth, and then you guys end up with a help me help you thing going on, because this guy that she thought she was going to get down with the night before was all like a little scammy and ended up ditching on her, and so she was kind of pissy about it all. So she's all like, oh yeah, we'll get revenge. So you go between this super snooty hotel clerk and Mrs. P over there, and you keep going back and forth, and she actually helps you on your little quest. So a lot of the puzzle is just talking to everybody about everything you can, clicking on everything you absolutely can, and then going back and talking to everybody you absolutely can over and over until something new happens.
Yes, it is old school adventure game in the sense that dialogue with other characters is really important, and when you learn a new thing, it unlocks a new thing to talk about, and you need to exhaust all things to talk about. And I personally like that.
Me too. I like exhausting. I like it when the icon comes back again. Like, oh, I can talk about this. Like, the inventory icons are static. You can talk about each one once, and then the second time you're like, did I show you this Kleenex? Yes, you showed me the Kleenex. But the actual other conversational things, they'll come and go. So you'll ask about Nico, and then you'll ask about the forest, and then you can sometimes ask about the castle, but you can do it like 3 or 4 times before the icon disappears.
Right. Back in the hotel, we're able to pretty easily manipulate Lady P, which I thought was a little bit weird, because we essentially just tell her, I mean, granted, the truth and what's been going on or whatever, and she just believes us. And man, she really gets behind us and causes, all kinds of ruckus. Well, she acts as like a distraction for us so that we can steal a key and break into a room. She really aids and abides here is my point, and she was just going on our word, so that was cool. And this is where you break into this con guy's room, and you get a letter. Not a letter, like a manuscript, I guess you'd say. Yeah. An old, ancient manuscript scroll. Yeah, there we go.
Which is apparently what these goons want. So if you try leaving with it, they'll beat the shit out of you, and you'll have to start again, which also, when you die, at least on the version I played, it takes you to continue, which is right before you die.
Right. The original version does not. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, no, you had to have saved.
Yeah.
And this is where the remake is right. The continue button is a modern innovation that should stick, for sure.
Yeah. Although at the end, the continue button would take you back a little bit further, like when you're trying to find the well, for example. And so I had to save my game.
As silly as it sounds, it's like Sierra gets away with it because they kill you so much.
Yeah.
That you just get used to constantly saving. But with LucasArts or in Broken Sword, you die. There's so few chances to die. Like, think of Fate of Atlantis is the example I'm reaching for with Lucas. It's like you're not trained to save all the time, and it feels especially unfair because you're not likely to have saved in a while. So, yes, mine did not have a save, but the puzzle the puzzle at play here is really clever, right? Where you have to take the manuscript and drop it out the window into the alleyway so that you can get past
Which
Guido.
was very intuitive, because it's really the only other thing you can do, and you have the view of that when you're sneaking into the room. You have to go outside of the building, and there's one hot spot that happens to be the ground of the alley. I liked puzzles like that. I got a lot of dopamine hits from playing this game, Paul.
Exactly.
I really did. I figured out so damn much on my own. For as much as I didn't, I felt foolish for not figuring it out.
When to the degree that I had Dev Brain on, I kept noticing that there was a lot of puzzles right in the pocket, and they were all, from a development point of view, like really easy. Like you wouldn't, it's again that like the overall lesson I think I learned from the first game too, and from beta testing was just like go way easier than you think, man. Like, like it's crazy to say, but it's like it's. The trick to a good puzzle is to make it like really easy, because once the player is thrown into the game and overwhelmed with everything already going on, it's just not as clear as it looks on a piece of paper. But this is the case with that one, where it's like if you think about it in retrospect, all you did was drop the paper off of the ledge. You could only go in 2 or 3 rooms. Like, you know what I mean? We didn't do a lot, but when you do it, you get the dopamine hit. You're like, that was the right thing to do because, that's how I get past it. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say, there's a lot of very easy puzzles that feel like a big win in this game.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So once you grab that that you had thrown out the window, the manuscript, or the paper, the manuscript, you automatically go back to Nico again.
Right. Okay. Right. And this is what unlocks Ireland on the map for us.
Right. And it brings in the other love interest, potentially, of Nico, which is Andre Lovenu, which is quite funny because at the beginning you're like, oh, maybe I won't really give you her address. I should ask her permission first. But then I clicked her picture a second time because it showed up. And then I'm like, here's her address. And I'm like, I wonder if there was a point where I could have stopped that conversation and asked her permission.
Right.
But I didn't. I just said, hey, man. But it turns out she's like, that's okay. We've met before.
Yeah, that part was a little weird to me because they said, okay, here, it wasn't weird in hindsight. It's just that when he's telling Andre where Nico lives, you kind of have the vibe that he shouldn't be doing that, right?
Yeah, very much so,
Okay,
actually.
yeah.
I felt scuzzy doing that.
Yeah.
I almost was like, I want to restore, but I haven't saved it in such a long time.
Right, yeah. Like, why would we give him... And then he says, like, Andre gives you a predatory look.
Yeah, exactly.
And that-
You're like, oh, I just sent a rapist over to see her. Oh, good job, George. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. It just gives you weird, like...
Yeah.
like...
That was weird.
For him to say he gave a predatory look when he mentioned his girlfriend, or Nico, it wasn't girlfriend at the
Yeah.
time, and then to be like, and then to give him the address anyway, that was super weird. But
Yeah.
you get there, and it turns out that he's maybe,
Already done her.
he's also more of like a paperwork guy. He's a little more limp-wristed than George, as opposed to capable of danger or whatever.
Right. George does have some very good close-up faces showing that he's capable of danger in this game.
George's close-ups make him. There's something about him that makes him look like an old man.
Yeah, I know. The
do
lines.
Oh, do you get that too? Okay.
It's the lines, yeah.
Like, there's no, like, if they slapped crow's feet on there, it'd be over.
Yeah,
Like, that would be
yeah.
an old man. But it's like, there's something about the mouth and stuff. I don't know.
I kind of, is he like supposed to be in his 40s or what's going on,
Unclear, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're going to Ireland.
Are we just like, not that we're all old? I mean, I'm in my 40s, that's why.
Yeah, but the 20-year-old in me still thinks of as 40-year-olds as old.
Right, yeah, no, 40 is old, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, but before we go to Ireland, I just want to say that, so we went to Nico's apartment and we met the Andre Lobster guy there.
Mm-hmm.
And Andre's like a historical... I don't know what he is. He's like he has curator vibes, right? Like he's a knower of things.
He's a bit of a protege of some sort.
And this is all kind of culminating to our latest lead, where like there's this weird tripod that's at the museum that we find Andre at, and something about like the Templars and like a hidden gem. And I'm being vague on purpose because this is all we know in the moment in the game anyway. Is that we probably have to find this gem that's going to sit on top of a tripod and maybe do something cool. Like at the time, I'm like, this gives me Raiders vibes, like, with Indy and the staff, where he puts the gem in the staff and the sun hits it in the right direction, like something like that's going to happen. And that's actually not far from the case either way. So that leads us to why we want to go to Ireland, which is why I wanted to stop and say that. So this is our reason. We're heading off to Ireland to find this gem, and all of a sudden the game it makes an Indiana Jones reference, actually. I should have written down specifically what, but I didn't. I just wrote down that it did, annoyingly. That's okay. Don't worry. I'll talk to Past Me about it. I'll straighten them out for next time. But it makes an Indiana Jones reference, and all of a sudden it gets very Indiana Jonesy because the game opens up, and now we're like globetrotting. We're heading off to Ireland, and it gives you a big map of Europe, and yeah, it just feels super adventurous to the point where I really regretted not having played this game before we did our episode, The Most Adventurous Adventure Games, because this is like immediately in like the top 2 or 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's incredibly adventurous.
Yeah, this pub is great too. The characters are great. You can't wait to talk to all of them. There's like the troublesome kid who, is he of legal age or is he only 14? Like, you don't actually know, and that's kind of fun. Clearly he isn't.
Right, yeah, clearly he's not. No, but there's a lot of fun characters in the bar, and there's a my first note says I wouldn't have gotten that close to the sneezing man.
I know, that was it. I'm like, oh man, he's sick, and you're actually not only supposed to get close to him, but you're supposed to steal something from him when he's sneezing, which is a puzzle I did not get. Playing it on a phone, it's hard to catch those little details.
It's hard in general. I have a note, didn't like the wire thing. He would notice. That's why I didn't like it, because it's like you wouldn't just. That's not how taking stuff works. Like basically,
He was actively using it every 2 seconds.
Yeah, the monk keeps pulling this wire out of his shirt. Yeah, out of his bosom area, like Peggy Bundy used to pull bonbons. Like he pulls out a wire, and I don't know what he does. I guess he's fidgeting, let's say, and you're supposed to just like kind of take it from him.
Yeah.
Like when it appears, and then you do, and then he doesn't say anything, and later pulls out more wire. That was all very weird. But that's okay, because it's a great game. It just has a few moments like that.
Yeah. And then eventually what you have to do is you're realizing there's access to underneath the pub. And it took me forever to realize that you could go up that little path off to the side.
Right, to find the farmer. Okay, so you talk to everybody in the pub, and essentially you hone in on this one guy who gets super nervous and weird about everything. Unfortunately, I don't really remember his name. I think it's Fitzgerald. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Fitzgerald.
You get the idea that Fitzgerald knows a bit about this gem and maybe even how to get into this broken down castle that is kind of blocked off because it's not safe, and we want to get in there and see if we can find the gem. He gets kind of nervous and weird about it. He leaves, and he ends up getting hit by a car and possibly killed.
Yeah. You never actually know. Does it ever get resolved? Do you ever see him again?
Yeah,
is he just abducted and then gone?
That's a good call. I'm not sure if it does. I don't remember it being. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, anyway, the little kid runs in. He's like, "Oh my God, this guy got run over by the car." And then there's, just in case this stuck with you, Anna, after the kid says, "Oh my God, he's been hit by a car," everybody in the bar just starts bickering about nonsense for like a really long time. And then you're just kind of like, can you please stop bickering and let me out? Like I want to go see what happened. Why are you guys all, it was so weird.
Yeah, you get blocked off by it. They're so weird. And of course they wanted the kid out of the pub too, but you just had to listen to everybody talk about it first.
Right, that's the other thing too. Nobody cared about the guy getting hit. It was more just that the kid put his foot in the pub, and it was that was again a little bit weird. But yeah, Fitzgerald gets hit by a Ferrari. For anybody playing the original, the cutscenes, the cutscene animations are lower resolution than the rest of the game, which is very weird.
Which is not true if you're playing the version I did. The cutscenes are like watching a Saturday morning cartoon at 8:30 in the morning, all cuddled up with a bowl of Lucky Charms and a little bit of milk and a spoon.
And a little bit of milk. That was a lovely scene that you immediately painted there with your verbal brush. I loved it. And to be fair, it does also feel like that in the original. It's just slightly lower resolution on a nerdy note, probably from compression. But yeah, the animations are very Saturday morning cartoon, very bendy and fun. Anyway, we're getting really close to the famous goat puzzle. So what happens now is the guy gets hit, blah, blah, blah. Well, where should we go next? Do you want to go to like the farmer getting into the castle route, or do we go into the bottom of the pub where we find the gem route?
Well, they all kind of, you kind of do both of them together, right? They kind of happen side by side, but we might as well talk about the other side of the puzzle first, and then we'll come back to the pub.
Okay, so we head off down this hard path to find, as Anna noted, and you come across this farmer, and he was really funny. Unfortunately, past me dropped the ball in the notes again, because it says farmer traveling too fast bit was funny.
Yeah.
I don't know what bit that was at all, but I liked it. And
it was great.
Yeah, we assure you it was great. Like, I feel like even if you played this game several times and love it, that you wouldn't know what that meant, right? It's a giant game. Like, what am I talking about? And then I put the farmer as a great character. Like, thanks a lot. Again, just really leaving me out here to dry in front of everybody with these notes. But it's fine. Farmer's great. We eventually climb up his gigantic haystack and make our way over the castle wall where we suspect we'll find something. Obviously, that's why we're going there. And that's when we meet the goat with the kind of human face.
Right. Yeah, I as soon as I got there, I shared my screenshot with Paul. I'm like, here it is, that weird looking goat. And the first time I played this game, I made it through this puzzle. The second time I played this game, I didn't grasp the timing puzzle because it was, I think, the first time a timing puzzle concept was introduced in the game.
Yeah, that's a good theory. Right. It doesn't, because I don't know. My note for this says that was the famous goat puzzle. Like, I was just shocked that that's what it was. Anna and I had messaged each other about this, and we both came to the same conclusion that it seemed like almost dumb luck that we clicked our way through it, and then what worked didn't feel any different than any of the other times.
Yeah.
Right? That's what makes it weird. It's just one time it just worked for me, and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like I did anything any differently. I mean, I guess that's how timing works, but I must. Right? That sounds stupid out loud. Okay, that's fair. I guess I was just quicker, or maybe you can't be too fast. I don't know. But anyway, the goat puzzle was a letdown because the thing for me is that I didn't know. I thought the goat puzzle was iconic because it was great. I didn't know it was really well known because it's bullshit.
So I knew it was really well known because it was hard. Okay. That was what I had heard.
Yeah, I guess I just thought of it as like iconic, like revered in some sort of way.
Oh.
So when there was like, it has its own wiki page, for God's sakes, the puzzle.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, it was a little bit of a letdown, I guess, depending on what you're expecting going in. But he does have a weird human face, the goat, and that's fun.
Yeah.
So.
And then in the end, you literally leave the goat to die. I didn't mention this we haven't talked about it yet. Oh, well, I'm going to mention it anyways. Damn with the timing, Paul.
Okay.
I always leave taps running in every game I've ever played. I've always left the tap running. I've never turned off the tap because I'm always curious. Is it going to matter? Is it going to end my game? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And at the end of this day, when I left the tap on, and you go back to Nico, he's like, oh man, I'm sorry. I got absolutely no sleep on the flight back. I had to stay up all night because he was sleeping in the pub basement. He's like, I had to stay up all night getting water out of the pub. Some idiot had left the tap on and the whole place flooded in the basement.
Amazing.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's so good.
No real consequence other than just having that extra little dialogue. So totally worth it. Always leave taps on and cupboard doors open wherever you go.
Yeah, the game does a great job. It takes great care in making sure that it recognizes what you've done.
Yeah.
Like what you've said to certain people will get brought into other conversations, and dev-wise, I like it because that's it's something I really like to do because all it takes is one little variable, just a quick little check: is this true? And if it is, give them an extra line, and it's such a payoff.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So we leave Ireland. Look, something back there happens at the pub where you find the gemstone from finally opening the grate, which again is just a really nice little puzzle. Like it's really simple.
It was great. Yeah.
Again, it's not complicated. You're just opening a grate to put light into the thing, but it feels like a huge win in the moment. And then you go down there, and the light reveals that that's where the gemstone that we're looking for is, because when the Ferrari hit the guy, the gem went flying into the storm grate, as it might, which is also important here. That's why it feels so good, because it all feels cohesive. And I really liked it. And now we're leaving Ireland, and we're going back home.
Goodbye, Ireland.
Bye. Okay, so now we're back in Paris, and we go to the hospital here. And I like the opening line because you show up to the hospital, and George looks at it, and and again, we're in France, so it's an old piece of architecture that's been modernized. And George says the modern additions to the architecture look like a baseball cap on a statue of a medieval saint.
Oh, God, and I feel that way
So
whenever I
good.
walk around in the city of Victoria. I'm just like, what are you people doing to what was a masterpiece that I almost don't believe that you could build a game right now?
Right. It's so good. So cathartic. A
So
baseball
good.
hat on a statue of a medieval saint.
beautiful.
Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we go in the hospital, and we learn that Nurse Grendel is a bit of a whore. There's a piece of furniture joke where this one nurse is just talking shit about this other nurse, and she's like, she is like a piece of furniture. Actually, this nurse is American, and that never gets addressed. It's the only other American in the game that I can think of. And she's like, yeah, this Nurse Grendel is like a piece of the furniture here. And he's like, oh, she's been here forever? And she's like, no, that every man has sprawled out on her.
Yeah, that was
Damn.
the joke. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
And it's funny because you know what? She sets her out that Nurse Grendel is such a bitch, but actually Nurse Grendel's not. She's quite nice, but the girl that was at the teller was just jealous, which you kind of find out too.
Right, again with the payoffs. Yeah, they circle back. They really do. All right, so anyway, what do we need to say much about the hospital? I mean, the guy...
So you have to go back and essentially you get your partner to take blood pressure because you're not a real doctor.
Right, that's, yeah, good call. That is...
And then you search an office.
And there's just all the adventure game nonsense in between that, just
Yeah.
all kinds of distracting and lying and stealing and whatnot.
Yeah.
Nobly, of course.
And then you're trying to get it, but the marquee dies or whatever, and you don't get all your answers. Anyway.
Yes, that's right.
So.
That's right. Yeah. And in this part, okay, this part is relevant in a sense where like another doctor comes in. We're already pretending to be a doctor when we're not. Classic adventure games. And then another doctor comes in and is like, "Get out of here!" Like this is sorry, I really like the French thing. He tells us that we got to scram, we got to beat it, and like because we're not a real doctor, we just immediately yield. Like, okay, yeah, this must be his real doctor. But it turns out that guy wasn't a real doctor either.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, so the real doctor kicks out the fake doctor kicks out the other fake doctor, and then kills this poor old guy. But we'll see that fake doctor again later.
Yes.
So. Also, there's like a brief notion to, I think, Timothy Leary in this, where he talks about his two favorite doctors and mentions Leary, professors, and Leary being one of them. Marquette dying, that whole scene was very cinematic.
Right.
It was a bit clunky, I have to say, just on some of the timing. I wonder if they cleaned that up in the Reforged version. But
Yeah, it didn't hit me as clunky at all. So.
Okay, yeah. I imagine they must have, because there was some weird, I don't know, there was odd lingering that felt like hardware limitation lingering going on. But it's really cool. They keep cutting back and forth to what's going on into his heart monitor, and eventually EKG going flat.
Which is where I found my first and only bug of the app, which is you'd hear the heart monitor and it's going beep, 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 and then eventually he's dead, right? And the thing's just going, and then you leave the hospital, you end up automatically back at Nico's room, but the noise of the heart monitor carried on for about 30 more seconds.
Yes. Good spot. Yeah, this is why Anna's such a formidable force in bug testing. She's so scary to hand a game off to because she can break 30-year-old games. Like, of course, she's going to destroy yours in beta. There's a line in this game that I like because there's one in the Phantom Post that's really similar to it. It's like in the same spirit. The line is, he had wild staring eyes like a dead fish. That was really good. And there's one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Look at the refrigerator in the pub for the dead fish line I'm referring to. But okay, so now we go to the museum.
Yeah, and we have to do like a whole theft thing. Like, well, some other people are trying to steal this tripod and you have to prevent them from stealing the tripod, but there's like a security guard wandering around and you can't just, willy-nilly do whatever you want. So you kind of have to do this order of operations puzzle.
Yes, and to highlight what a joy this game is, the security guard that Anna mentions, there's nothing about him that needed to stand out. There's nothing about him that's clutched to the story itself, but he's just such a delight to talk to.
Personality-wise.
Yeah, exactly. Like all these characters have personality. Like they're all like an established character, a conceptualized character, and like they're kind of fun to talk to, and like they remain on their little brand for the whole duration of their existence in the game. It's so satisfying.
Like every single person, you have to show them. You have this tool to open a sewer that you use at the very beginning of the game and one other time later on, but you have it in your inventory. So you have to ask every single person with their own personality, do you know what this is? George will say, and they'll be like, some of them are like, no. And then other people are like, yeah, it's a sewer tool. I used to have kind of a shady background, or you'll get these fun little things out of them for it.
Yes, yeah. There's so much love sprinkled into this game everywhere developmentally. It's amazing. Okay, so we're in the museum. We essentially need to figure out a way to stay in to be locked into the museum. Mm-hmm. So you open up a window so that the guard has to go basically close it, and while he's doing that, you hide into a sarcophagus.
Which he's like, don't do that or you'll die. You're like, no worries. Right.
So you hide in the sarcophagus until it's nighttime. And one little, not a little detail, but easily under the radar detail is that when you come to in the sarcophagus and it's nighttime, it changes perspective. Mm-hmm. So now you get to see the museum from a different perspective.
I love that.
It was so nice. Yeah, it's like because you see more of the museum, and it wasn't necessary. I'm not sure it was necessary. It was a nice touch, nice little extra effort. So anyway, there's the scene with this totem pole here where you try to knock out the criminals and you knock yourself out. Mm-hmm. And it's really good. And I should say that the character animations in this game are unbelievable. They're all so charming and awesome. Like, you push the totem pole and the very top totem falls off and hits you in the head. And the animation for George is like he looks up at it in anger, as we all would. You know when something hurts you and you just kind of look back at it like you. Yeah, and George does that. And then he pushes it again, and then he ends up getting knocked out. And then we don't know it at the time, but Nico slides down all spy-like on a rope.
Like Catwoman.
Thank you, like Catwoman, exactly. Knocks the dude out, grabs the
Because she was there the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. So now we're back at her apartment with the tripod.
Yeah.
And the stone that goes in the tripod. My note here says Nico is liking us, maybe. This is when you could start to tell that it might be mutual. But I should have asked this in the beginning. What was your impression of Nico at the beginning of the game when you first meet her and do the telephone number exchange?
Well, I didn't see that they had a lot of sexual chemistry immediately. I saw her as quite preoccupied, actually.
There's something about her saying, like, but this is strictly business. Like, she had more, like, I don't know.
It's because she's already been there, done that, and gone through this before. She doesn't want to get involved in some nonsense like that again. But there's something intriguing about this American chap.
She seems very, like, not like boss bitch, but she seems very, like, assertive and a little more domineering and very, like, assured of herself.
She's going to tell you what she's looking for in the bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got that.
But then, after that intro scene, every other time, like, she's very soft in her apartment. Like, hi, George. And like, okay, that sounds good to me. Like, she's just very passive.
like you guys start meeting at the table, and then as the game progresses, you start lounging on her couch with your legs kind of spread, all
which
like
is again
casual.
a phenomenal character animation. That couch one, what he does with his legs, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. And it just shows as time goes on, you guys get closer. But at the same time, if you call her and you don't need anything from her, she's just like, what the fuck do you want? And then there's a time where she could have potentially gone with you on a trip. And she's like, no, I got a lot of work to do. So it's like, yeah, she may be falling for him a little bit, but she has her own shit to do. And she's not going to put up with any goddamn nonsense.
Oh my God. What if, I agree with all of that, by the way. What if George sits on the couch because he saw Andre doing it?
Oh, he was jealous too.
Right, because Andre does it first, and then later in the game, George starts doing it. Like, well, fucking Andre could sit here than I can, because those two, yeah. As Anna said, I shouldn't assume that on you guys. The George and Andre becoming incredibly competitive, and as I'm learning, that actually spills into the second game, which is a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I like that.
Their competitiveness. But yeah, so what you said about Nico, I think is right, except for I think it was, I don't know. I feel like, I guess what I'm getting at, I'm trying to be nice about it, is I feel like her tone's a little all over the place. Like I couldn't really capture who she was as a person until the end of the game.
Right.
Because at first she seems really like assertive and in control, and then with George, like in her apartment scenes, she seems incredibly passive. And just and like kind of soft and like.
I think that's the truth, though, to how a girl would be, especially as she's having trouble with the divide between personal and professional life. She would even go harder into being a harder person, if anything, to ward off what she can see inevitably happening with the Cupid's arrow.
Right, I could see that. Like, this is who I am on home base, like you know, with my guard down.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean. I think you're right. I just don't know if that was intentional. There's something about Nico in the apartment that seems really oddly passive to me that I'll just let go of. All right, where are we at?
Well, we're gonna go to Montefaucon.
Okay, that doesn't.
It's when you start putting the tripod and the gem together. And you learn that you get to go to see her,
Oh, and you get to see the secret Templar meeting and such. Okay, cool.
Neo-Templar, this one, because it was like the not the full meeting.
Yes. Before this, do we see the juggler, or are we going to the juggler now?
Right, yeah, that's the juggler. You have to go through this whole, like, thing with the juggler, and you end up getting one of his balls at the end. It's quite funny, actually. You end up having to try to be the act and failing miserably and working with the police officer that's sitting at the table, and there's this whole funny puzzle around it all with tourists watching and everything.
Right. We're kind of a total dick to that juggler, honestly.
Yeah, we were quite rude and stole
him.
his ball, so yeah, that wasn't nice at all.
Yeah, that was Georgetta's douchiest in the scene, because we were
Not
totally
nice.
just picking on the dude.
No.
Yeah. What did I say? The whole juggler thing felt contrived and was annoying. So yeah, I guess I didn't like this scene at all. Because the what you're trying to achieve, I should have written that down for the notes. What I shouldn't have done is start a broken sword too, because I'm realizing that really bled into my memories of this game a little bit. That was maybe a mistake, but what you're trying to achieve with the juggler. I mean, Anna, you played it as recently as like this morning or something. What do you remember? And this isn't even fair to put on you because it's a giant game, but like I forgot the grand point of the juggler. Like, because I remember my note is trying to say that like this was a whole lot to just blah 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 to just get the ball or whatever.
Well, the grand point was so that you could show off that you couldn't juggle, to set off the guy sitting at the table on his next quest.
Yeah. Well,
that
whatever
was really
it was, the payoff
only
wasn't
point of
there. Yeah.
No big payoff. That was literally all it was. It was just an access zone.
All right. Well, so we end up in like a little, a watery, docky kind of area that's enclosed, and there's a door, and there's a decent puzzle here where like the door is stuck, and there happens to be a boat with a winch next to it, and you use the winch to attach it to the door, and then to pull the door off or whatever, and then you end up.
It was kind of a neat little zone. I took some screenshots there. I thought it looked really cool.
It was really nice lighting with the water and like the underground covered vibe of it. This is where you essentially see like the Neo-Templars, this new order of, I guess, Templars, having a rather evil meeting.
The military establishments are in flux and all those sorts of words.
Yeah. So each one of them are like high ups, and they stand on like this big, I don't know, purposeful, symbolic thing in underground France that, has hundreds of years old sorts of vibes to it. And they're all standing purposefully in a specific location talking about the objectives that they were given and how the things are going. And the vibe here is that they're all corrupting some major facet of society. Like one is trying to corrupt the government, the other is working on major corporation corruption. Like they're trying to bring society to its knees, I suppose you could say. So they have this dramatic meeting, and then they all get on a little... Well, at the end of the meeting, the main guy screams, "We will be the princes of this world."
And then they get into like a leaky-ass rowboat.
Yeah, then they all cram into this little rowboat and paddle off in silence.
It's funny because there was 6 of them, and the rowboat looks like a 3-personer at best.
Yeah, they're all overdressed for the rowboat, and...
Yeah.
I just did this the other day. You ever like say goodbye to somebody too soon and then you have to keep walking with them?
Yes. You're like, bye, and then it's awkward silence because at this point there is nothing you can say.
Yeah, it's over. And they're like 6 feet behind you, and you're like, just don't fucking look at them. Just keep walking. We said our goodbyes. We're done with this.
Faster.
Yeah. It has that vibe because they do this whole like end of the world evil laugh thing, and then they just sit quietly in the boat like, we should have done that maybe at the dock. Mm-hmm. All right, so anyway, then we walk back up some King's Quest looking stairs, and because it is did you get that King's Quest vibe down there? Like there's a staircase that wraps around the sewer, and like if it was a Sierra game, you'd be saving for sure.
Oh yeah, death would be imminent.
Yeah. All right, and then you end up. This is where you put the tripod in the middle of where they were standing. You might have to go back to do that, but it doesn't matter. More or less, you put the tripod there, you learn another thing, and you end up back at Nico's house.
Right, and you're all like, the bogus doctor was there, the guy who killed Marquet, and you find, because that was the dude that was at the hospital that wasn't a doctor.
Thank you for closing that loop. Yes, esatto. We might even start seeing a few of those other people in that circle, spread throughout the game or whatever. So,
because you're like, this person seems awfully familiar.
And essentially, the tripod and the gem gives us our next clue, our next lead, which is that we need to go to Marib, Syria. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Marib, Syria after I scroll up on my notes here. A little difference between the Reforged version and the original is that the original has a bunch of places on the map that you don't go to. And it really disappointed me because it has Turkey, Russia, and Italy. And maybe another. And I was really excited that we were going to go to Italy, especially because wherever you go, there was like a little bit of native language in it. And, it's fun for me. I've been working really hard on learning how to speak Italian and stuff. So I was like excited to be able to maybe read some. And we just don't go to Italy.
Right.
The cathartic part of that, though, is that it must have been universally bothersome because come the Reforged version, they don't put anywhere on that you're not going.
Nope, it's all just places you go only, which is why it seems like such a big map with so few places pinned on it. It makes sense.
Right, they're retroactively removed. Yeah. Good call.
Yeah. So this next place is interesting, though, because you're kind of going in between a pub with a locked bathroom door and a dude that's like, nobody can have access to it until I get my toilet brush back. And then you've got outdoors where you've got the meat seller and their friends and Najo, who's this nice boy with a cat whose dad owns a stand, his very grumpy father. But anyways, you find out that the dude who's the kebab guy, you want kebab? That's kind of what he says. No matter what you say to him, but he's got a little bit of dementia, you find out from talking to his family member. And in that, he's never been quite right in the head. He's made the mistake of stealing the toilet brush from the bathroom at the pub and using it to baste his kebabs.
Yes.
Which is fun.
It's a lot. This whole thing was a lot. I wasn't crazy about the effort that we had to get into. Well, okay, sorry. Ultimately, this whole kebab mess with the toilet brush is so that we can get in the bathroom. The bathroom is locked because it has a new toilet in it, and the manager doesn't want to let people use the new toilet until he can find his toilet brush so that he can keep it clean. I don't know. It's on shaky ground, all right? It's on very shaky ground. And then finding out that the toilet brush is being used to glaze kebabs And then you have to go talk to this little dude. I forgot his name. And
Neho.
Thank you. And find out that, well, you collab with him, let's say, to get the guy to run away so that you think that you're taking the kebab. So much so that Anna texted me about that, thinking that she blew it.
I thought I found a bug and it couldn't be finished because the brush was gone and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I didn't realize you just had to talk to Neho again, which is the very obvious answer that Paul gave me. And he's cute. He said, he quoted Kipling and said, it is a cat that walks by itself, talking about his cat. And I don't know if you know Kipling, but it's this cat and he goes up into a woman's cave and he's super useful and super charming, but he won't allow himself to be tamed. And so he gets named, as all cats are from time immemorial, the cat that walked by itself.
Okay, this isn't Rudyard.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Neho, when you meet him, I like the English part. He's like, "Speaky you the English."
Yeah, I know.
That was really good.
He's like, actually, I speak a few languages, and I think I speak English better than you.
Yeah, all of which better than you. Right. Okay, so the toilet brush thing is really contrived, but I will say because I might forget this, I'm just going to say it now. At the end of the game, there is a payoff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because there's another bathroom that you'll find locked, and all you have to do is ask the guy for a key, and he just gives it to you.
Yeah.
He's like, here.
Way easier. Although you have to fuck with the keys a whole bunch, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You have to make a copy of that key, but we'll get
But
it was a nice little payoff because it is somewhat validated the bullshittiness of of this first get to the thing. But anyway, there's a quick, I don't know if you can call it a puzzle. I guess for all intents and purposes, the matchbook puzzle was the perfect balance again.
Yeah, because you've been carrying this like Arabic kind of matchbook for the whole game and just randomly talking to people. Do you know where this matchbook is from? Well, this. So finally you show it to the guy in the marketplace, the carpet seller, and he's like, aha, this way, sir.
Right. So the carpet seller, importantly, is standing next to a carpet with the same pattern as the matchbook box. So it's like the whole time you've been looking at this matchbook in your inventory and like subconsciously noting that it's like maroon with a gold diamond. And then you get to Syria and see a giant version of the matchbox, and you're like, aha, this looks like the thing that I have. And you give the guy the thing that you have, and it actually works. And it's like, again, it's really simple, but it's a huge dopamine hit, a huge payoff. There's a lot I'm trying to learn here from this game, design-wise. Okay, so this all eventually leads us to... let me just see if I have any notes. Do you have anything you want to cover before we get to locking ourselves in the tomb?
No, I'm kind of working my comments into everything, so...
All right, so we got... This is where I, at this point, broke down and said it needs a faster speed.
I think a lot of the reviewers, especially on the Android App Store, were like, what do? I have to click for him to go somewhere or do something, and it just takes forever. And, it could have used, I suppose, like Techno Babylon, perhaps a bit of a fast travel system where you would disappear where you are and appear in the next page.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm torn on that kind of stuff. It kind of bothered me at first, and then I was fine with it, and then it looks like it bothered me again here at this point in the game, somewhere in the middle of
So
Syria.
you're just not sure how you feel about it.
And then I settled into it again. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't remember who Ultar is, but he shits in a bucket is my next note. That's made clear, I assure you. Again, didn't like looking at the kebab vendor because they hadn't trained me to look at / right-click stuff. Again,
so this is kind of where you first figured it out.
No, I figured it out back there last time I complained about it to you, but this it just got me again. See, people, for those of you who haven't played it, the game does that thing where it automatically picks what it wants you to do. I'm having another swing at this, by the way. I'm trying to express this. The game picks whether or not you're going to look at or interact something. So when the game says to you, you're going to interact with this, then I'm just like, oh, I'm going to interact with this. It didn't show me the look thing, so I'm supposed to interact with it, because that's how the one-click system works. But then it's come to find out, it's like, but every now and then, you're going to want to right-click to look at interact stuff. And I can't. All right, that's it. I'm done. I won't again. I might, but I probably won't again.
But yeah, you end up in this cave after you go through all that, and that's where you get to find an idol and figure out this whole, like, this lens idol thing, right? Because there's like an idol, and I think you have to put a lens at its feet or something.
Yeah. Well, no, we've done. Oh, right. Not quite. We get the lens.
Yeah, you get the lens at least. Okay, and then you get to see this like un occidenta cita est in ora mundi kind of thing. But then you get killed, and then you die, and the buzzards eat you. The end.
Yes, exactly. And actually, let's restore our game a little bit before that point because I have some notes leading up to it. And I'm just going to go through them really fast. There's a line in the game that says, one of the characters at one of the vendors, I think it's Niho, he says, "Let me find you some dirty postcards instead." That's really funny.
I like that one.
Dwayne, we meet Dwayne. Dwayne's interesting. This is why I wanted to go back because he's what we're talking about.
I like Dwayne and his Pearl. Dwayne and Pearl.
Did you see Pearl? Because I never saw Pearl in my playthrough, and I wrote it down.
What do you mean? Pearl, you have to talk to Pearl to finish the puzzle.
I didn't. I never saw her. Now, I've seen her in the second game, so I'm aware of Pearl. And she kept coming up in all the dialogue. And
look in my picture. Go into my Google Photos picture.
I mean, right now?
Yeah, right now.
Okay, say stuff while I do then.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm taking him there because I have a picture of Pearl, and I need him to verify that he really didn't have that character accessible when he was playing.
I know that I didn't because I've seen her in the second game.
Yeah.
No, I can't because it's trying to force me to open the stupid Google app, which I don't have downloaded. Oh. No, I know what Pearl looks like because it's the same sprites in the second game. I didn't see Pearl, 100%. I have this note here that says specifically like, was she cut from the game?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sending it to you in Discord because I'm insistent. I will not give up, and I'm going to make everybody hear me do this.
Here's another question, because here's the lead in with this note. Also, the game is heavily signaling that Dwayne is, quote, off. And then he says, "Count on it, Georgie." I didn't find out what was up with Dwayne until the second game. Do you know what was off about Dwayne?
The kebab guy?
No, the American tourist, Pearl's husband.
Oh, I might have missed it. What was off about him?
That he works for the CIA.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that? Like, did we both miss that, or does the game not say it? Is what I'm getting at.
I think I missed that.
Well, it might not be in the game either, right? Because I didn't see it.
Here you go. There's the picture. Please look.
Okay, geez.
So she's standing with the green sweater talking to the guy at the store with the glasses on.
Yeah, I didn't see her.
Crazy. Yeah, because without talking to her, I wouldn't have been able to finish, because she's the one that said yes to buying the statue that you had forged. And then she's like, "But I don't have the money." And so you have to go to Dwayne, and he's like, "Yeah, I got the money. I'll buy it off of you." And then he buys it off of me.
I just gave it to Dwayne, and he bought it.
Weird.
Yeah.
But then maybe it's a version thing?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a nice payoff to that, too, the statue thing in the second game. All right, well, anyway, I never saw Pearl, and I didn't need to see her because I was able to sell him the thing, so that's all quite strange. My next note is that the toilet brush was really forced, and I get needing to give us something to do. Maybe it's just the contrived nature of the reasoning. Okay, I don't know. I was just complaining. Oh, yeah, I don't know about the roller towel thing because I barely know about roller towels, and I wish it was a stocking instead.
Because roller towels are strong and very long, like as in like a kilometer long or something ridiculous. So technically he would be able to use it twice.
It's just such an obscure item, right? Like, I don't know. And then the game alludes to, like...
They're in every hand drying thing, though.
Not here.
Well, they haven't been in like 15 years, but they used to be.
Well, I don't know, man.
When I was growing up, they were everywhere because it's the cheap thing. Because, you just keep pulling new clean towel and then the service washes it.
Dude, I'm not sure that I've ever seen... Like, I know that they exist.
What? But they were everywhere. Yeah, never would I not encounter them until they started putting in those stupid Dyson air blades that share bacteria.
Okay, maybe we need some listeners to come in on this one. Is this a Canadian English thing, and then and not in America? Like, what's going on?
Because it's just a really long, really strong linen towel that just goes on a huge loop all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember them in childhood here or over there. I don't know. Okay, maybe, like, I don't know. Anyway, the game eventually says that, like, they liken it to using a stocking on a radiator. Because that's, by the way, that's what you need the roller towel for. You end up cutting it in half. laterally and using it to replace a belt in an engine. And the game's like, yeah, I'm going to use it just as you would a stocking. And like a stocking is like a classic, hack for a broken drive belt, is that you could use a stocking to get out of it. Have you heard of that before, the stocking thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Stockings. I've also repaired my muffler with a coat hanger on more than one occasion.
So I guess I was just wishing that the game went the stocking route instead, because like I've
But
made
you
it.
needed the other half of the paper towel for the puzzle at the cliff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the stocking wouldn't have been long enough.
That cliff puzzle's bullshit too, though.
Yeah.
There's
it
no
is.
way
There's
that
a
twig
crack
would
in
have
the
held you.
cliff, and
Yeah,
Actually, that cloth could have held you.
Totally, but the twig couldn't.
No, the twig, no. Cloth, yes.
You're right, but the cloth is nothing without the twig, because the twig's what's holding it onto the land.
That's true. Fair.
Okay, all right. I'm almost caught up. So toilet brush, blah blah blah. Love a good textbook reef knot. I don't know what that means, but no way that twig would have held the weight. I don't like it. Okay, so here we are.
Here we are. Well, hello there, Paul.
Next note to get us rolling is German Indiana. No. So yeah, German Indiana Jones is dead.
Right.
And the door's shut behind us, and we read that Latin thing that Anna read out to you guys a minute ago. Mm-hmm. And now we know a Latin thing. Mm-hmm. And then we get the lens. And then, is it Khan? Who's the bad guy that comes in now with the gun? It might be Khan.
Yeah, it's Khan, yeah.
Okay, then Khan comes in. He has an odd amount of respect for us, which is...
Yeah, because that's the whole reason you survive is because of his stupid respect. But it's also one that I died on like 6 times in a row because I also didn't grasp the concept of this puzzle.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess this is a timing puzzle too, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because I kept thinking I had to go fast enough to go for the gun that he dropped over and over. But it turns out you have to turn around and jump off the cliff.
Oh, that part got me too. Sorry, because the hand buzzer part I knew, and I was stoked I knew it. Like, I know exactly what to do right now.
Me too. Yeah.
Long story short, so this guy, he basically says he has to kill us. George says that you shouldn't kill me because I have the lens, and the guy's like, I'll just shoot you in the face. And George says, when my body falls, it might break the lens. And that was really clever. This is like, well, good job, George. That's pretty logical. But then the guy goes to shoot you anyway, so it kind of made that all for naught. Yeah. Which was a little bit weird. So the guy says, I have respect for you, and actually this respect thing will pay off at the end of the game. We'll get there. But Khan says, I'll shake your hand before I shoot you. Little contrived, but it's fine. That's when you put the hand buzzer on and you shock the guy and he falls down, and you have like 2 seconds to make a choice here. And that's where Anna was saying she was trying to go for the gun.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't...
and over and over and over and over. As I was determined to make it through this puzzle, which I didn't.
Via the gun.
Yeah.
I just panicked and did nothing twice and then jumped off the cliff. So for what it's all worth. I was proud of this. My Italian got me enough of the way to understand the stone tablet thing because they're both rooted in Latin. That was kind of fun. Weird. Sorry, we're already there. And then, okay, so this part also was a little flimsy, but it's excusable. So you jump off the cliff and you land in the car, and George later tells Nico, because we're about to be in Nico's apartment, that he survived because the tarp on the car padded his fall or whatever, and it sure doesn't look like it in the animation. It's very thuddy. Like he just plows right through that tarp, and like you really probably wouldn't survive to jump off a cliff into a car with like a thin tarp as your thing, but whatever.
Yeah, there was a few of those moments in the game for sure.
Like I think they could have saved that by the animation, because the animation doesn't help it. He just flies through it like it was tissue paper. They should have made it like resistive. Yeah.
A little more resistive.
Yes, a bit more resistant, please.
Yes.
Bend and stretch.
Indeed.
A little more like trampolini, like a trampoline that's gonna break, or bends. And okay, all right, that's satisfying. We're done. I'm done. I mean,
back to Nico.
So, well, my note here is I'm having so much fun. What a great story! But I yelled it. I'm not gonna yell it at you guys.
You could.
But I'm having a great time right now.
Yeah, and then so you're back with Andre, and Andre is on the couch.
Right, so now we're talking about the lens that we have, and we unlock our next destination here, which is basically the historical clues are leading to Spain. And Andre is the guy who essentially is his role in the game now is like George is like, look at the weird shit I got. By the way, I almost got killed. Because he does throw that in every time, which is fair enough, too. I feel like they never give him the, credit he deserves for almost dying all these times. But he's just like, I almost died. And he's also trying to emasculate Andre a little bit. Like, I'm out here almost dying. You're just sitting on the couch.
Yeah, he's like, I get it, you and your fancy words. But out on the field there, that's the real work.
Yeah. So Andre looks at the stuff that George gives him after saying that he just, look at my stuff / I just almost died. And Andre says, this is that, this is Irish, this is Spanish, this is Syrian. He's the one, Andre's the guy sending us off to our next lead at this point in the game. And so the next place is Paris. And, no, sorry, it's not Paris, it's Spain. And now we're off to Spain.
Yeah. We'll go to Paris again later. I assure you, we will get back to Paris.
By the way, we're at 12 out of 16 here.
Right.
Not unofficial chapters, let's say. So we're getting there. If anybody's getting a little antsy, we're almost done. Maybe we're closer to done.
This is fun too because you have to.
Sorry.
You have to trick a gardener to get into the house, and then even in the end, it's very satisfying when you do get in the house after tricking the gardener. And the countess, who you're trying to visit, is just like, it's all right, dear. George is a good guy, but you still have to win her trust a little bit too. It's a really fun dynamic.
It is. This is one of the most adventure game moments of the game because to turn off the gardener's hose, you don't crimp it, you don't unscrew it. You put a blood pressure cuff around it. Which
is why, because you're like, why the hell am I carrying around this blood pressure cuff ever since the hospital?
Man, that's so adventure gamery. I was like, man, we could have just crinked the hose. I mean, come on. But okay, that's fair. It's good cartoon logic.
Yeah.
So we go and talk to the old Spanish lady whose name escapes me, but it's probably Spanish and old.
She's the Countess, is what you can call her.
Okay, right. So we're talking to the Countess, not the Countess. Look, we're talking to her. One of the, I feel bad doing this because there's so many great lines in this game, but I just couldn't help but notice this one line that's just the worst line I've ever heard. I had to say something. The line is, quote, "They had a secret that was so important that they went through great trouble to hide it." Mm-hmm. And it's just like, what are we doing with a line like that? Like, they had a secret so important that they went through great trouble to hide it. Like, I don't know. Does it seem stupid to you too, or is it something about it with me? I don't know.
I want to agree with you just to be nice.
All right, fantastic. That's a Canadian no. Like, okay, I'm not going to double down on it. I really want to, but I'm not going to double down on it.
Okay. So anyways, you get into this...
Why would they...
No. You get to this mausoleum, and it's been on the Countess's property, and she's really passionate about all of this, and you end up discovering this chalice thing.
Yeah.
And she's all happy, but she's like, take it with you. And you gotta go and take this chalice back to Paris. So do you have any comments about the mausoleum?
This is the part with the chess pieces. She's got a really old chess set that belonged to the Templars, and we're going to discover that behind her Bible in the mausoleum is what looks like a chessboard, but you could use the chess pieces to unlock a secret compartment in the stone wall that reveals what kind of looks like a grail and a Holy Grail style cup. And it gives this Countess, it gives her purpose again, right? Because you get the impression she wasn't able to have kids, and she's very bitter. And
well, there are the children. That's what they're. And then one of the children, when they were little, they lost one of the chess pieces. And not that we quite get to the resolve yet, but they plant the seeds for that now.
And like, were those children like her ancestors? I was never clear of the relation. I don't think it was her kids because that was too long ago, right?
Yeah, the children is all I know. I was guessing the children of the Templars or...
Right, because they seem more Templar age than like her kids' age. But there's also this sadness about her not having kids that I never really connected, but whatever. Point is, discovering this girl, like Grail, reinstates purpose into this woman's life, and she's like super stoked. And when the stone wall drops and you see the Grail there, it's a huge moment for her. And George is very kind and humble, and he's just like, this is your moment, like you go get the Grail, like.
Right.
And she's like, no, George, you went through all the trouble to unlock the thing and to just, to solve the puzzle. You get it. And he's like, no, please. Like, he lets her have it, which is really sweet. And she walks over and takes the grail from the thing, and it's a bit of a moment. And then George's narration says, the possibility of death traps only occurred to me a few days later.
Yeah, I like that too, because he just like sends her right over, and she's just like, sure, okay.
And it was so good. There's a line in Space Quest 5 a moment in Space Quest 5 that's just like that, where he sends Beatrice in first. But
so satisfying.
Anyway, that was really good. The game keeps, here's a random note. Tell me what you think of this, Anna. The game keeps saying it fitted into. It says it like 3 times, and I'm sure it's grammatically correct, but it bothers me.
My mom would often say it fitted it instead of it didn't fit. Just your thing reminded me of that.
It's a bit of a mindfuck, yeah. But isn't that, wouldn't you say it fit into?
Right.
Not it fitted into.
Yeah, maybe it's a British thing. Let me do a quick Google here on this.
Okay, I'll say more
stuff. It
stuff.
fits into for present tense. It fitted into is past tense, but it sounds more awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's arguably not past tense. I mean, I guess it is. They say it the second after it happened, but
still, that's pretty dumb.
The lens puzzle is really brilliant, and it's so exciting and
too.
Indiana Jonesy, and it gives you such a sense of accomplishment when you work it out. So essentially, we go home, we go to a church. You go home, you go to Nico's, blah blah blah. You get pointed to a church, and you go to the church. You talk to a nice father there, and sorry, I was trying to see if I had notes for this. I kind of lost faith in myself there. I'll just go on memory. It doesn't matter. And you end up investigating. There's like Templar tombs around there. You were able to confirm that the Spanish guy's tomb is at the Montfaucon, the church or whatever. And this is all leading to finding out where Baphomet,
the devil essentially, or a version of thereof.
Right. This is all leading towards we're starting to get the idea that Baphomet had a sword. And this whole broken sword thing ties maybe into Baphomet and the Templars. It's becoming clear that Baphomet has something to do with this anyway, is what all this nonsense has been leading up to. But in the church, there's a statue, and the statue has a man holding a scroll, and if you put the lens in the scroll and look through it, then it reveals a hidden image in the stained glass window of the Templars, which is really cool.
Yeah, I like the puzzle with the stained glass window and all that stuff was good. It was all good.
Quick note, I really like the foreground art in this game all along. Like the foreground art has like this slight blur, and it stays static no matter what the background does, which gives it good depth perception, and it's really cool. All right, well now where we're at. Why don't you? I feel like I've been wording so much. Why don't you say stuff?
Yeah, I was like, wow, you're really into it. So I was kind of letting you take the lead on those, which is fine. But yeah, after you leave that, you go back to Paris, and you have to investigate the de Façon at Montefaucon.
Yeah, that's it.
And yeah, you get to do this lens burning thing, which is really cool because it reveals these dates, and yeah, you're kind of all over the place. You're going to excavation sites, and anyways, they take you to Spain. That's what happens after all that.
We're going back to Spain.
Yeah, we're going back to Spain. And there's like, Spain was kind of fun. This is another one that I took a picture of because I thought it was very, very pretty. The guy's watering the lawn. There's a rainbow in the water as he's watering it. And you get this kind of like this whole biblical story. There's all these clues that there's a hidden well, but nobody knows where it is. So they're like, well, you know what? No biggie. You can just douse for it. So you have to comb the various hazelnut trees on the property to find a dowsing stick. And then you get this sort of comedic playthrough where you're trying to douse all over the property and you dig up a can full of water. And it's pretty funny.
Had you ever heard of whatever that's called?
Dowsing? Oh, yeah. Lots.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it
even
before.
As a kid, I used to try it all the time. I must know from an adventure game or a book. I don't know why, but I knew about it, and I used to go around dowsing all the time.
You did play this in like 96, so maybe from this.
Actually, no, I did it even when I was younger
Gotcha.
for sure. Yeah, like little kid. I remember dowsing in the yard in like grade 3 and grade 4. Never with hazelnut. I didn't know that. Anytime I would find a Y-shaped stick, I'd play around with the idea.
We did skip quite a decent section here. So,
Well, you asked me to jump in. That's what I do.
Fair enough. Because we have to go to like the tomb. I mean one thing I could do better next time in preparation for these episodes is to better label the locations, because it's really hard to jump into conversation when you don't know what to call the place. And that keeps happening to me in this episode, where I want to be like, the fucking place, like with the guy with the paint bucket outside, and then you walk down into the thing, and then there's another guy guarding the bathroom. That's the whole part that we've skipped here.
It's that's just what I was leading into.
I thought we were going to Spain where you were at.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's not Spain, is it? So anyways, you're with the guy and he's guarding the thing. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of puzzles here. And he's kind of like, I want to go to work, but they won't give me like a key to the site and I can't get in and I'm not interested and rah, rah, rah. And then the guy downstairs is like, sure, you can have the toilet key. This is the easy toilet key that Paul talked about before. Yeah. And it leads into this kind of fun little puzzle where you make an impression of the key in the soap and then you make a key in the soap, but it's plaster and no one can convince anybody that that's a real key. So first you have to coat it in coal in the boiler room, and then you need to realize it's quite hot and that the security guard likes it hot, and then you need to turn the thermostat down until he's chilly and puts on his gloves so he won't feel that it's made out of plaster. That's one part of the puzzle. You give him the fake keys, you take the real key. On the other side of things, you start messing around and telling the guy at the top that the phone's for him, but really it's Nico there to do like phone operator, whatever with him. She's like, I won't repeat what I said afterwards.
She's a bit of a tease, yeah.
She's definitely a bit of a tease. So he's going up and downstairs doing that, but eventually, after you do that twice, he starts arguing with the guard, who's the one that answered the phone when Nico calls. And then it exposes the door to get into the actual archaeological dig site. So, there is a great quote when you're in the bathroom that has the coal and the boiler. You can click on the shovel. And the quote is, "Capacious as my pockets were, I didn't figure I could cram a shovel into them," which I thought was great.
Nice, capacious.
Yes, capacious.
I didn't have to use the coal on the key. You had to do that?
Yeah, I had to use the coal on the key to make it black.
I wonder if that's how I had to get paint from
it was the paint. Sorry, not the coal, it was the paint.
Gotcha.
Either one is black, yeah.
From the smoker. He was smoking
But that was
Galloway.
the first phone call, yeah.
And Hiroshi fans like Galloway. Brings you back to a nice time. Yeah, this was, there's also a several minutes later cutscene in this, and it would have been great to hear that in French because of SpongeBob. Because the game is all French, several minutes later. Like, it would have been perfect. Not that reference existed to have been referenced, but you get the point. No. The adventure, the making of an impression of the key in soap was super iffy. I kind of went off on the thermostat thing. That's what really got me. Because granted, some of these notes are me like frustrated in the moment after being stuck a little bit, right? Thermostat gloves thing was part clever and part utter bullshit. Like, the premise is great, but one, look at is hard to remember when I see a gear icon, and I don't remember I can also look. It's really haunted me throughout the whole game. And two, it's contrived having to note that it's warm. So you talk to him to find out that first you have to note that it's warm. Then you have to talk to him to, for some reason, learn that when he gets cold, he puts gloves on. That way you know that if you turn the heat off, he'll maybe put his gloves on, and then once he puts the gloves on, he won't feel the key.
It's a little ham-fisted or something.
Boy, yeah, it's kind of bullshit. When it's I like, as a player, I would have been totally fine with just painting the key and giving it to him. I wouldn't have been like, well, can he feel that it's plat? Like, I don't know. That would have been enough for me.
It took me quite a while because I didn't realize I had to go back and forth between the heater and talking to him. So I got quite stuck there for a while. I had to wander away.
Yeah, same. Good line here too. When the guard of the door goes up to the painter blocking the paint from you, he says that this girl's on the phone for you. It's Nico, and he says, "Does she have a voice like molten chocolate?" And he's like, "Yes, she is very sexy." And that was fun. Molten chocolate was pretty good.
That's great.
Quick little dev note. Maybe they fixed this in Reforged because apparently Cecil was fixing lots of little things that annoyed him. So when you go, I can't set it up entirely because my memory fails me on that, but when you as George go back downstairs, the phone should still be off the hook, and it's not. It's hung back up. because it was left off the hook by the last person that left, so it should definitely have been off the hook.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it wasn't. Yeah, so I wonder if it wasn't reforged or not. But
I didn't notice that little detail.
Fair enough. No, it's
Too late now.
yeah. Okay, well now we're in Spain because my next note says that the rainbow in the hose was Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I like that. The rainbow and the hose and all that. Yeah, it was a fun little puzzle there.
Oh, well, you know, I shouldn't do that to the listeners, though. Okay, so the whole point here was to get behind the door that this guard was guarding. And that whole key thing was going to unlock the door that he was guarding, so we essentially had to borrow the keys to the bathroom, which gave us all of the keys. And then while we're in the bathroom, make a copy of the key that we need in plaster so that we can keep the real one and give him back his keychain, and he won't know that one of the keys has been swapped out. So that was the whole point of all that nonsense. And then essentially you turn the guard of the door and the guard of the paint on each other with Nico's help so that they're distracted enough to where you can now use your key on this door and go into this room that he has been guarding. And that's where the Baphomet stuff comes to light. That Baphomet seems to have drawn his power from what is known as the Broken Sword, and that the Templars were likely aware of that and may have inherited it at some point, and now we're essentially back off to Spain because we've unlocked some more clues.
Exactly. But, like a rainbow, they regarded it as a symbol of the covenant with God who'd revealed this place to them. That's what they say when you end up finding that little coven thing.
Right, that's right. The covenant from God. That was after the flood story. As a rainbow was a sign that wouldn't be done again. Got it. Cool. Oh, hi, how you doing? I just spilled cold stuff on my penis. That's what that's. Yeah.
Jeez.
That's what invokes that sort of noise from me.
I thought you were excited because we're almost at the end.
Man, okay, we're getting there. Why don't we skip most of this trip to Spain because I don't remember it being. We're just closing up some loose ends here. Right? I mean.
My next picture is of the end of the game, so.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. My note here, he's still watering the damn lawn. No, that was George's line that I thought was funny. There's a moose head. There's a moose head in this game. So that's great. Now,
Sierra nod, very nice.
Right, yeah. Made me feel like it transcended Sierra. Now it's started to become an adventure game thing in general, finding a moose head on the wall.
Like blue cups and all that.
The Spanish lady, whose name I didn't know at the time either because I just wrote Spanish lady, she says, to be young and live in a world of moral absolutes.
The Countess.
And I said, amen, Spanish lady, because that's a great quote. And then another note here on a slightly deeper level, but not deep at all. To our non-American and Canadian listeners, this game captures so well the spirit of history and lineage that Americans don't understand unless they've been to Europe or out of the country. In other words, there's something about this game that encapsulates the sheer scope of time that these other countries have existed for. Like I remember walking in, I don't know if it was Londis, but I say both together at once. I don't remember if it was London or Venice. But I remember walking on the cobblestone being like, wow, this cobblestone is older than my country. And it's, as an American, it's really, until you leave America and like Cozumel doesn't really count. Like until you really get out to Europe, let's say, it's really hard to understand. I don't know, it's hard to have a connection to the reality of how history works, of how old things really are, how long Italy and France and England, these countries have been around for, and the scope of historic connection that they feel to lineages and things like the Knights Templar. And this game encapsulates that spirit really well. It just gives you like, you know, the historical significance of the countries that you're in is at the forefront. And perhaps exploring it as like this somewhat naive American, it also just made me think to make that little note. And to anybody who's American or Canadian and hasn't left their country, then you might imagine what it's like, I guess, to go to Europe through this game in a sense, where you just get the scope of
I've always wanted to.
Because when you go, like, I don't know, underground into the sewage area in France, like it's so grandiose, and it's like it's still quite authentic to how it actually is. Like everything there is kind of cool because it's old, even if it's just sewers. It's like, yeah, but they're like 1,000 years old, and like wrought cast iron, like, and everything had a design, everything had like intent and purpose and some artistic flair to it. Like nothing was nothing seems to have been done out of pure necessity back then.
That's what James always says. Like when he's in Europe, he said there's all these ornate buildings and they look like castles everywhere, but it's like there's a bank, it's a pharmacy,
right.
It's a bakery, right? But it's got all this stone carving and just it's intimidating, right?
I'm glad I banged that home long enough to get a connection there, because that's exactly what I mean. It really helps you understand. And in realizing that your pharmacy is like a 1,200-year-old building,
yeah,
you feel more connected to your ancestors and where you came from, and
oh man,
yeah, these types
so
of stories. So anyway, all right, this is a little side quest, satisfying. Next, oh right, so we're in Spain. We're putting things back where they belong. We find the old lady's missing chess key. And
that's another fun puzzle once you get the special key from the countesses.
Right, yes. There's a lot of little keys in Broken Sword games. So many little keys in weird places.
It's a big game. Even though it's an app, I spent almost 9 hours on it.
Yeah, same. I think I spent 12 on mine, 10 to 12-ish.
Yeah.
There's a candle in the mausoleum that you burn down to get a key.
Right.
Yeah.
Except the candle keeps blowing out, and there's a window you have to close, and it's kind of a fun little puzzle again. I like that one.
Right, nice little simple. You've only got to close the window and then light the thing. Oh, well, no, actually, that one's not too simple, because you have to go through a few steps to get the pole and light the cloth and blah, blah, blah. Point is that when the candle melts down, there's a key in it. And I was tempted to be like, this is bullshit, because wouldn't that candle have been lit plenty of times before? But then when you really look at the logistics of the candle, like, I wouldn't have lit it. Mm-mm. It's for sure a show candle.
That's right. Quick thing. Initially, you've got that Kleenex with the clown grease in it. And at the beginning, you get to use it to polish a plaster cast so that the tourist will buy it.
To sell it to Dwayne, yeah.
Right. And then later, when you do the cast of the key, you can't use that same Kleenex to do the same thing again, even though the makeup's still on it. You have to have a different technique to make the plaster solid and shiny. And then at the end, you use that same Kleenex again multiple times to light the candle on fire, which is kind of funny because you get to see it partially burnt and going from there.
Right. It's also funny that like the jokey tissue became kind of clutch at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of funny. A lot of culminations, as I said, and I'm imagining as the series goes on, there's these other little pings of satisfaction that will hit.
Yes. Yeah, it really does spill into the second game. There's a lot of payoffs to the point where it's kind of fucking me up a little bit here. But you do the water dowsing and you find where the Knights Templar, is it a tomb? I'm not even quite sure.
It's a well first then a tomb.
You're right, though. Right, because the well is the hint.
It's guarded because there's like a lion's head. After you get into the well, you douse and you don't find the well, but he throws the can with water that you do find and it lands in the well, which somehow they never noticed on their property for a kabillion years. So you like quickly whip down there, and another one you can die. If you don't jump out of the way when you pull the tooth of the stone lion, a big doorway will land on you. And then he's like, "Hey, George, you okay?" But you can't answer.
Yeah, I wrote that as a note because I thought it was kind of sweet. Mm-hmm. My note says, "Aw, when you die at the Lion, Lopez hears it and is worried."
Yeah,
because he's all like, "Senor Stobart." Oh yeah, I guess that was a weird French thing. Senor Stobart. Trying to do.
That's great.
Anyway, and that's also a cute little payoff because when you do successfully do it, he also says, "Are you okay?" So like he was gonna say it no matter what because he hears the stone lion crashing down.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, very clever. And another theme in this game is like you uncover the main thing, and then you as the player, you only really see it for a second, and then it immediately cuts hard to Nico's apartment where you're telling her about it. Not complaining, just the way they do things. Mm-hmm. Okay, so long story short, we need to go to Scotland to end this thing. We're gonna get out of here, man. We're almost done with the whole game, but we got to go to Scotland first to finish this thing off once and for all, because we essentially learned that like between the chessboard imagery and the biblical clues. When we went to that church earlier I was telling you about, we look at the tomb of the Spanish guy and we get some biblical clues. We bring those biblical clues to the Countess lady in Spain. We end up reading them in her Bible with her, and that's where we learn some cryptic wording about a well, and we find the well on her property. And this all leads us to find out that we need to go to Bannockburn, Scotland, and to go try to intercept or stop the meeting of these new Templars. And so we're on a train to Scotland now.
Which I love train scenes. I think this
Yeah.
is great too.
Samesies.
Yeah, you get to go like you kind of essentially you walk around and go from train car to train car until you get the bad guy, all up on you like that. It's Khan in disguise, and then after that you get to go through a whole scene of kind of going up on the outside of the train and then like your crew. There's a man or a woman dressed as a man and Nico, and they've been kidnapped by the bad guy there, and so you have to save them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Nico gets kidnapped, and so you think kind of does the old lady, and so you end up walking on the top of the train, which was super fun and looked really good. And that's when you end up in the train car, and you're about to be shot. Quick action saves you, but the old lady's already been shot. Nico's okay; she's there tied up, and it turns out that the old lady was Khan, the guy who respects you so much earlier. In the game, and the reason he respected you is because you come to find out in this moment that he has the same common enemy as you do. For anybody that's seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Khan is exactly Chasm from the Last Crusade, where you think he's the enemy like the whole movie, and then at the very end it turns out that he's actually also just trying to protect the Grail. That's what Khan is. It's I'm pretty confident it was lifted exactly from Last Crusade. It's the same.
Oh, yeah.
It's the exact same idea. But it was cool. I mean, I still liked it. It still pays off really nicely. And so he gives you that last little boost directionally speaking at the end of the game on where to go. And my next note here just says that Nico and George bicker a lot already. Seems like their relationship's like just immediately on shaky ground because they are really bickery with each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get to the rubbles at Bannockburn or whatever. It's like I don't know. It's a building that was mostly destroyed from wars, and my note here says that I hate re-looking in areas because in that pile of rubble.
Yeah, because you had to look in the pile of rubble 3 times to get 3 different items out of it. There was like a pen lid, which I put into the eye of the beast, or no, I put it into his mouth before I put in the gear and the crank. I didn't know what to do with the pen lid.
Yeah, I did some. I put the. Oh yeah, I accidentally put the. Was it? Do you have a cigar at this point? What the hell was it? I put something jokey in the demon's mouth.
Yeah, I put the pen lid in its mouth and it just disappeared. But it didn't matter anyway.
What did I put in there? I put something jokey in there, and the game accounted for it because Nico's like, "This is no time for jokes, Joe," or whatever.
Oh,
and
that's funny.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what it was, but it was 3 or 4 days ago. You gotta forgive me. Anyway, yeah, there's like an inventory dump at the last second, basically, where you get a bunch of crap from this one pile. Nico is back to being kind of boss bitch, is my note here. She seems like she's back to who she was at the start of the game, and then you go in. I mean, we're at the end now. It's a big cutscene. Do you want to have a go at it? Have a.
Well, I mean, you end up putting this thing in this demon's eyes, and then you use a crank handle, and you end up getting into the back, and then you and Nico were like, you can kind of see that there's a thing going on, and you try to sneak over there, but you end up getting kidnapped, and well, not kidnapped, but forced at gunpoint to watch this whole ceremony where essentially all the magic that they have been trying to incantate becomes real. Instead of just being like a fake thing, and this like electricity stuff goes into Buddy. I'm not giving names because I'm not good with names. And all the power of the Templars goes into him, and now you got to figure out what to do with it. Which is it's received mixed reviews. This ending, I would say.
Yeah, I heard somebody's negative take on it. It didn't bother me.
No.
I don't know.
Kind of a waste though, because in the end you kill everybody.
Well, there was something about the ending I didn't like, but before I go on to that, it was just, what are your thoughts on? Because the ending has a magical turn to it. So it turns out that the broken sword isn't a physical weapon; it's not a physical sword, but it's more like a focused earth energy power that was connected to Baphomet and that the Templars learned about and wielded. But the point here is that the broken sword isn't a physical sword anymore. It's energy. It's it has a magical sort of vibe to it, I guess you could say. And it seems like a lot of people didn't like that necessarily. I didn't mind it because I've been trained on Indiana Jones films, and they usually do this too, right? There's like it's connected to like grittiness and of the earth and archaeological digs, but then at the end, you know, it usually got a little supernatural. I mean, you know, Temple of Doom, the guy's like hand goes in his chest. Last Crusade, obviously the Holy Grail heals. Like, you know, I'm kind of used to that little slightly magical element creeping in, so that didn't necessarily bother me. What bothered me...
It makes sense. I was just going to say it did make sense, because it gave them all their charisma and power. Like, it was supposed to be, that's how he took the power, and then it's the statue that's striking him with the lightning.
Right.
I'm just looking at pictures. But he's, I think at that point, to me, I think George starts to really, truly understand that they're just like a bunch of hypocrites, really. A bunch of power-hungry hypocrites, all of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
they're not necessary. He doesn't like, because they were trying to lead off that they were like the noble guardians of the world, and then Buddy there is just like, oh, you guys should totally join, right?
Right, and we're having none of that, because I think George had caught on to them being more just pretty, let's just say, cartoonishly evil from much earlier in the game, even. You know what I mean?
But this is all a movie cutscene. There's literally nothing you can do through all of this, through watching the thing, and then there's a shooting, and there's nothing you can do until the very last scene, when you can just do one more thing. When what's his name comes in, Khan comes in, you end up pulling a torch, and then the whole game is over.
Yeah, that was the part I didn't like, because pedantically speaking, it's like what ends up happening is that you detonate some old gunpowder, and it's just I thought the thing I didn't like is that like you're next to the main bad guy, along with, like, you know, Guido and whatever the thugs, and one of the two thugs, and you light the gunpowder and then run out of the building, and it explodes and everybody dies except for George and Nico, because George and Nico ran out, and there's no reason that the bad guy and Guido wouldn't have ran out too.
Yeah.
Right? Like they play it like oh, it all happened so fast, but George and Nico got out. It's like, no, I mean, like they even cut to Guido trying to like blow jokey, like in a jokey way, try to blow out the detonator. He's like like very cartoonishly, like, no, do not blow
No, he
up.
barely even tried. And then you throw your C4 explosives on top, and that's it.
But like he didn't try to run; he tried to blow it out, I guess, and that was them kind of hand waving that away. And it's just,
which is a bunch of idiots trying to save. Like, for all the power, they acted dumb in the end. Yes.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's a way.
There was a few rush things, like, for example, in the beginning of the game, or the first half, almost 3/4, everything you'd click on to something for somebody else would have something, and then later on in the game, you'd start getting a response was, I don't think that's a good idea. And not just because he shouldn't see it, but because they didn't write anything in for it.
Yeah. Right. Good call. One thing they did really, really well that I made a note of, of potential interest, is instead of constantly, when you use an inventory on something that's wrong, instead of a rejection message, George would just shrug, like, I don't know. And that was a really nice way to handle it. It's really sleek. That way you don't have to hear a line or click through a line. He just shrugs, like, I don't know. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's like, that's interesting. I might try that. So that was cool. All right, and then that's it. There's a little call to the sequel as the credits roll, and we're out of there.
Yep, that was the whole game. So my rating, if 5 is average and 10 is the top, this one's pretty close to a 10 for me. I mean, there's something to have to forgive in every adventure game ever, always. But I really like this game. I like how it was laid out. I like the setup. Great game.
Samesies. Yeah, no, I mean, there's something you have to forgive in everything. Every book, every movie. I mean, nothing's ever going to be perfect to everybody. But this is as perfect as it gets. I mean, I had an awesome time with it. As soon as it was, after 12 hours with it, I was like, I'm going to play the director's cut now, because I just wanted some more of it. And
get in there.
Nothing else. Yeah, I couldn't give it higher praise than that. I mean, it gives you that grand sense of adventure. It's. I wish I played it a long time ago, especially for this podcast's sake, so that it could have been brought up in side quest episodes.
So go back and listen to all those episodes, and then just take a clipping from this episode and pop it in there, and you'd be like, "Oh, Paul really does think it's really good."
Yeah, man, that's some moon logic right there. That suggestion in general. I don't know. I don't want to go, because we're both a little winded from all this. I don't want to go too much longer. But the director's cut, I'll just say, I played the opening 2 chapters. What it does is, if you don't know, it starts you out as Nico and with 2 chapters before preceding the clown cafe explosion. And then there's 2 more Nico chapters, maybe 3, but I think 2 more that are peppered in into the game, in between. And that does fit, because there are moments where George, just kind of abruptly changes location or heads off somewhere, and it's like, why not put a Nico thing in between those? And that does work. But the writing for all the director's cut Nico stuff was written by somebody else. Right. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, this isn't a director's cut. This is just like added on gameplay. And it's pretty bad. Like, I don't want to just kind of like shit on it I have a lot of notes here I'm not going to end up reading, but I was not happy with it. Like, it's the storytelling part of it is good. I did appreciate the storytelling parts. It's just the puzzle, like the design parts are a big step down from the rest of the games. From it's really bad. Like, I guess I wrote one out here, so I'll read it. Pretty tough puzzle. You flatten a shell casing. Oh God, that's right. You flatten a bullet shell. You flatten a shell casing in a stone door, but it only flattens halfway, making it a tiny little wedge/doorstop. That is used on a cross. The cross keeps sliding down and causing a door to shut. So you wedge that under the cross to hold a door up. But wait, now the same tiny shell case can be used to open a stuck door because the door had a small crack in it, and somehow putting the shell in the small crack allowed your hand to fit through it. It makes no sense. Like, I'm explaining it poorly, but it's not. That's not the only reason it doesn't sound like it doesn't make sense. It was just 10 out of 10 some bullshit. Like, just not great. And then there's like a really complicating sliding tile puzzle that you have to repeat for some reason. They decided to put 2 locks on the door, and they're both sliding tiles, and it's horrible, and 27 steps for each of them. They recycled you have to do a cipher puzzle where it's like, weird cryptic logo equals the letter C, and you slowly figure out which is the alphabet, and then they recycle that, and you have to do that again. And it kind of already sucks the first time. I mean, you get into it after a while, but you get the point. It's just the puzzles were more slapped on, like, here, do a sliding tile, here, do a siphon puzzle, here, like, as opposed to like integrated as it was with the old school, with the original game.
Damn it, 2009, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, the puzzles suck. The voice acting for Nico is not consistently French anymore. She's not French enough, and she's not consistently French. And that kind of sucked too.
Franglish.
Yeah, because I don't know. Some of the graphics were really bad because they took pixel drawn scenes and applied like anti-aliasing to them, which just makes shit blurry, essentially, and just I didn't like it at all. So if you haven't played the director's cut, or if you're wondering which to play, for sure don't play the director's cut. Like, it almost started taking away from the experience, but I got out of there just in time. It's like, okay.
Right. Okay. And thank you again to Eric to getting this idea started. I'm really glad we're into the series. And here, I do have a little request for all of you. If you enjoyed the episode, try giving a follow to the podcast if you haven't already, or leave a rating, a review, or share it with a friend who loves adventure games, or a friend you think might start to love adventure games, or maybe just a friend who likes light banter and 2 friendly people chatting away. So it really does help more people find the show, and it lets us keep making episodes like this. But also, Patreon helps us keep making episodes like this. So thank you to every single one of our Patreoners, including our newest Patreoner. And also, I'd like to say thanks to Brian Manown, Mick, Tim, Gareth, Chapman, Christopher, Yanis, all of you in the True Believer tier. Thank you very much. And James Hancox for being our newest member of the Patreon team. Welcome. It's nice to see you here. And I think you could probably go out there and say hi. You can find me on Twitter at CGG Podcast and Paul at The Phantom Fellows. We're also on Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube. You can visit The Phantom Fellows at thephantomfellows.com. And you can also send us your words at don'tdoamurder@gmail.com. You can also get the Phantom Fellows on GOG and Itch and Steam and Fireflower.
And you could probably email Paul personally and ask him questions about it, and he may even answer them. So that's kind of cool. No guarantees, but it's a maybe. Again, become a Patreoner, support the show at patreon.com, Classic Gamers Guild. You can also join the Classic Gamers Guild on Facebook. It's a group, so we talk about neat stuff. Just answer the 3 questions. And yeah, your turn.
Don't do murder.
That's cute.
You know, everything that is difficult is good for you. You've said so yourself.
Yeah, I know. Fucking. Yeah. Don't you hit me with that past me shit.